Fractal is an interesting indicator that is very popular among new traders. Why wouldn't it? After all, this fractal indicator tries to show the important price levels on a trading chart. This indicator is created by Bill Williams. That's right, the same person who also created the famous alligator indicator. When I tested the alligator indicator 100 times in my previous video to show its real win rate, we saw it was a good indicator that made money in the end. So let's see if fractal trading strategy is good as well. If you haven't watched my alligator indicator video, go check it out. And like always, I'm going to test this fractal trading strategy 100 times in my next video to show its real win rate. Maybe subscribe to see it. On TradingView, this is what the fractal indicator looks like. Once you add it on your chart, you will see some arrow above and below the candles. On most trading platforms, these arrows are usually red and green in color. Green arrows will only appear above the candle, and red arrows will only appear below the candles. Also, the arrow that form below the candles are always pointing in the downward direction, and arrow that form above the candles are always pointing in the upwards direction. According to the fractal indicator, when a red arrow appears below the candle and low that the candle has created can be an important price level. In simple words, the low of the candle could be a potential support. Similarly, when a green arrow appears above the candle and the high that the candle has created can be an important level. In simple words, high of the candle could be a potential resistance. But why are only some of the levels are considered important by the fractal indicator? Why the arrow doesn't appear above other candles? Well, to answer that question, we will first have to understand how fractal indicator works. The green fractal arrow will only appear when there are two candles with a lower high on each side of it. Here's an example. Here you can see the green arrow appeared when the two candles on each side of it had a lower high. Similarly, the red fractal arrow will only appear when there are two candles with a higher low on each side of it. Here's an example. Here you can see the red arrow appeared when the two candles on each side of it had a higher low. First of all, let's see the basic fractal trading strategy. Then I will show you a way to filter false signals given by the fractal indicator by using another indicator that is also created by Bill Williams. So here's how the fractal indicator is used of many traders to find the entry signals. When the red arrow pointing downwards appears below a candle, it is considered as a buy signal. You can set the stop loss below the candle that is showing the arrow, because that candle is important according to the fractal indicator. Similarly, when the green arrow pointing upwards appears above a candle, it is considered as a sell signal. You can set the stop loss above the candle that is showing the arrow, because that candle is important according to the fractal indicator. Now, if you look closely, you will find that there is a big problem with this setup. The problem is that the fractal indicator works on a very common price pattern, therefore it creates a lot of false entry signals. These entry signals are unreliable. If you trade all of them, you will probably lose money. So what should we do? Well, we can use another indicator that is also created by Bill Williams. That's right, that alligator indicator. I have already made video on how to use this alligator indicator properly. If you haven't watched that video, go watch now. We can use this alligator indicator to filter false signals. If you don't know how alligator works, let me give you a short explanation. When the price is below the alligator lines, the price is considered to be in a downtrend. And if price is above the alligator lines, the price is considered to be in an uptrend. So we can modify the basic fractal trading strategy and use it like this. We will only buy when the red arrow pointing downwards appears below a candle and price is above the alligator lines. Set your stop loss just below the swing low of the trend. Similarly, you will only sell when the green arrow pointing upwards appears above a candle and price is below the alligator indicator lines. Set your stop loss just above the swing high of the trend. Here's an example. Price is above all the alligator lines, so we are only looking to buy. We could have entered a long trade when the fractal gave the long entry signal. Our stop loss would have been below the swing low. And here's a short example. Price is below all the three alligator lines, so we are only looking to sell. We could have entered a short position when the fractal gave a sell signal. Our stop loss would have been above the swing high. If you don't like the alligator indicator, you can use a moving average to find the direction of the long-term trend. Remember, I am going to test this fractal indicator 100 times in my next video to show its real win rate and to see if it is a profitable indicator or not. Till then, I don't recommend taking trades with this indicator alone. Use it with something else that you know works. Maybe subscribe to see this fractal indicator tested 100 times in my next video. Here are some important things to note about the fractal indicator. Number 1. A bullish fractal occurs when there is a low point with two higher low candles on each side of it. Number 2. A bearish fractal occurs when there is a high point with two lower high candles on each side of it. Number 3. If an up arrow appears above a candle, it is a sign that market can go down. If a downward pointing arrow appears below a candle, it is a sign that market can go up. Number 4. Fractal indicator takes 5 candles into consideration. A green arrow will only appear above the middle candle. Similarly, a red arrow will only appear below the middle candle. Number 5. Fractal is a lagging indicator. Candle has to be completed to consider entry signals given by the fractal indicator. In other words, if someone were to enter trades using fractal, the entry would be at the opening price of the third bar after the arrow. Since fractal is saying that candle that has an arrow above or below it is important. In a long setup, it can set your stop loss below the candle that has the arrow. And in a short setup, you can set your stop loss above the candle that has the arrow. Furthermore, to take price volatility into consideration, you could use the ATR stop loss. I have already made a video on how to use the ATR indicator to set the stop loss properly. Check it out if you want. A fixed profit target trading strategy will give you consistent results, but if you are a kind of trader that like to trail the stop loss to get the maximum profit and to stay in the trend for a long time, you can use the ATR trailing stop loss with the fractal indicator. That's all.